What follows is a revolutionary approach to 3D printed dungeon tiles. Stick with us till the end and then decide for yourself. Here is a typical dungeon tile. It has 4 spaces, each of which is 1 inch, and it represents an in-game area that is supposed to fit 4 standard 1-inch base miniatures. And here's that same tile with some half-inch thick walls. When using these tiles to build a dungeon, it is mathematically impossible to reproduce a map that uses shared walls, as many modules do. There will either not be enough room next to the wall, or an offset will be created, which both breaks the grid and results in not reproducing the map as it was originally drawn. So if we're going to reproduce a map precisely, using dungeon tiles, remember that these are the rules. A 10-foot square on the map represents 4 game spaces. Each game space shall be at least 1 inch across in both directions so that it can accommodate a standard miniature, and the grid shall be preserved. No offsets may be introduced. Let's try this map excerpt, beginning with the 20 by 20 room, or as a more appropriate way to think about it, 4 spaces by 4 spaces. If we use typical dungeon tiles, none of the spaces around the perimeter can accommodate a standard miniature, which means that the usable mechanical area in this room is only 4 spaces, or at best maybe 9 spaces if you're willing to straddle the grid lines, but either way we've broken the rules. Now you could try and place the walls on the outside of the tile, but that makes the problem even worse. The hallway is now a half space offset, and that error will propagate throughout the entire rest of the dungeon on your table. You could try and place the wall back on the tile, but now you're left with the original problem of a half space. And how are you going to handle the other side of this hallway anyway? So we know that if you try and build any segment of a typical map using dungeon tiles, you'll find that it's mathematically impossible. But does this really matter? Well, it depends on your perspective. After all, so what if you have to fudge the map? It's just a role-playing game, right? Does it really matter that I can't fit my 2-inch base monster in a standard hallway? Maybe not. Plus, nowadays you sometimes see maps that are not drawn with shared walls, but with a 5-foot thickness already accounted for, and in that case, hey, you're good to go. But maybe you run a lot of old school stuff, or you like to draw your dungeons with shared walls because it offers a lot more design freedom. Maybe you're an obsessive purist when it comes to map fidelity. Maybe you don't like having to deal with the annoyance of adjusting the map. After all, wouldn't it be great if a single square on the map always correlated to one and exactly one dungeon tile? Well, in any case, we have the solution. TrueTiles, tiles without compromise. Instead of 1-inch spaces, we use 1 1/4 inch spaces. Instead of half-inch thick walls, we use 1/4 inch thick walls. With this setup, even in the worst case, which is a corner, the space can still accommodate a standard miniature, as it is mechanically supposed to do. Now there are a few new standard shapes made possible with TrueTiles. In addition to the field, corner, and single wall, we can also make a hallway and a dead end, and all of these shapes can accommodate 4 miniatures. Back to our map excerpt. Let's use 4 corner tiles to build the room. Well, we can fit 4 minis across in each direction. Now through the door into the hallway, we'll use another corner tile, and another, and then some single wall tiles to finish the hallway since we already had a wall on the other side. But suppose the party came in from the other direction. So we'll use a few hallway segments, a corner, and a dead end. Then through the door into the room, and to build it we can use a field, 2 corners, and a single wall. In either case, you'll see that we met all our objectives. The map has been mechanically reproduced exactly as it was designed, and we have not broken the underlying grid. But there's more. Typical dungeon tiles have a wall height of something like 2 inches or so. This makes it difficult to see down into them, particularly in tight areas, and it's a pain to extract a miniature without bumping and inevitably moving the tile. Further, if the miniature has a very energetic pose or has features that protrude beyond its base footprint, it often can't even fit when placed adjacent to a wall. And so we've applied the concept pioneered by DM Scotty McFarland and used short walls that are only 3/4 inch in height. This is short enough to address the playability issues we just talked about, but just tall enough to still allow for some nice decorative texturing, such as bricks. But there's an even bigger benefit: clip-on features. So rather than require a special tile with a unique wall segment that contains a door, you can simply take one of our clip-on doors and attach it to the walls wherever you like. And we've got a lot of neat stuff planned beyond just doors. Anything that's attached to the wall, such as a painting or a torch or a sewer grate or a trap, can be modeled, printed, painted, and added to your collection. This takes the notion of modularity to the next level. And one final innovation: although there are several ways to prevent tile slippage on the table, one possible solution is our clips. These are textured to match the wall and come in several different geometry combinations. These allow you to literally bind an entire room together very quickly. And as you can see, they are precision made to hold firm. Now, perhaps you're skeptical. That's fine, we understand. In the sample pack, you'll get the model files for a field tile, a single wall, a corner, a plain door, a straight clip, and a 90-degree clip. So if you want to gauge the quality of the models, or you didn't quite understand the mathematical differences, go ahead and try it out for free. And if you like what you see, here's a list of everything else that comes in the standard dungeon package for the low price of $8.95. A dead-end tile, hallway tile, slanted tile, curved corner, all of the clip geometries, wooden double doors, secret door, stairs up and stairs down. So get started with your TrueTiles today. Designs by Wyloch's Armory, models developed by Heroes Horde.